Remake This Movie Right is a show that takes an original film that has an actual remake in the works, figure out what still clicks and what doesn't. We try to throw a little bit of humor at it, and then we determine exactly how Hollywood should remake it. So by the end of each episode...
Or they get to choose how to remake it today, here live.
To a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah, but by the end of each episode, we will have the remake ready to roll for Hollywood execs and present it to you in movie trailer form. We are here to tell Hollywood how to remake this movie right. The best way to look at this show is it's basically while you and your friends are sitting around complaining about how the latest remake got everything wrong.
Like Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters was really good. So did you actually see it?
You said it was good. Everybody else that paid for it said no.
Did you see it?
I didn't say I didn't like it or like it. I just said it was bad because nobody paid for it.
Well, that doesn't make it bad.
It tanked.
Lots of movies.
It tanked.
Lots of movies don't do well that are very good.
It tanked.
Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, anything with Kurt Russell.
China didn't even see it. It was that bad.
Okay. Well, you might remember him from our Magnificent Seven, Logan's Run and Independence Day episodes. He's the guy who thinks Ocean's 11 can only be improved by adding androids, Troy Heinrichs.
Hey, how are you doing, Sir Aaron?
And for those that don't remember her or aren't familiar, Amanda Sink was on our Blade, Charlie's Angels, and Pet Sematary episodes, and she honestly thinks Nathan Fillion is better than George Clooney. Amanda Sink. He's not.
It's true.
Who said it's true?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Look, we got hands. It wasn't even just
that
one
is
person.
not correct.
I agree with Amanda.
You think Nathan Fillion is better than George Clooney?
I do.
He's a stud.
George Clooney is dreamy.
He's old.
No. Patrick Dempsey.
Everybody gets old.
Patrick Dempsey
Troy.
is dreamy.
You're old.
He literally is dreamy.
Okay, so how's everybody doing? Excited? We are live at the Blue Box in Elgin, Illinois. And for this episode, we are remaking Ocean's 11, which itself was a remake.
Just because you love George Clooney, that's why.
Because I what?
Because you love George Clooney.
No, that's not why.
So what
that's
if the audience
mean.
decides that they want Nathan
Yeah,
Fillion?
what if Nathan Fillion actually gets in there?
What if the audience decides they want Nathan Fillion?
Yeah.
We'll take a revote. It's just like a real election.
I think we'll just kick you out.
We'll just keep going until they get the people they want.
How does this show work?
Yes, we have an electoral college here at the Blue Box Cafe. So absolutely. Basically, here's what Ocean's 11, and we're looking at it more from the modern version, not the Frank Sinatra version from the 60s. We're talking about the George Clooney version. What are you doing?
Turn it on.
Yeah, turn it on.
Is this better?
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay. All right.
Speak into it.
I'm speaking into it. I already spoke.
Can you guys
into
hear?
it. Is this better?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, fresh out of prison, Danny Ocean has his sights set on the biggest heist Las Vegas has ever seen. So he gathers 11 thieves to steal $150 million from 3 casinos on one night, all as part of his essential revenge on Terry Benedict, the man who is now dating Danny's ex-wife. It was directed by Steven Soderbergh. It was Ocean's 11 had one of the strongest casts, I think, in film history. Honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It had Clooney. It had Brad Pitt. It had Matt, who's single, ladies, if you guys are looking. Matt Damon, Julia Roberts, Affleck, Khan, Gould, Reiner. It just keeps going. There's a lot of names. What's that?
Don Cheadle.
Cheadle.
I thought you said Cheetos at first. I was like, I don't
Yes,
think that's part of the cast.
had
I haven't eaten
Cheetos.
lunch yet. I'm hungry.
It had Cheetos. Initial thoughts. Who saw this movie when it came out in the theater?
2001,
thank God.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're old. It was 15 years ago. So this is its basically 15th year anniversary. So what were your initial thoughts when you first saw the movie? Is it something you were excited about? Is it something you really didn't know anything about? What?
I thought it was great. I mean, like we've just previously discussed, the casting is perfect. There's not much better casting with a group of folks that are going to pull something off. They all work really well. They all bounce off each other pretty good, and the whole setup worked. The idea of how they were going to pull this off, a con within a con, I think all of it kind of worked really well. So. Did
you see it in the theater, or did you see it on video?
I believe I did, but I mean, I've seen it multiple times outside of the theater, but I do believe I saw that and the two follow in theater as well.
The two follow-ups? We don't count Ocean's
those.
12 at all.
12 didn't exist.
13 was good.
13 was okay.
Was good.
Ocean's 12 was
But 11
different.
was the top.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you think, Troy?
I actually love the fact that in order to pull off a job like this, you need the team. And even though the team is cast really well, the team itself was actually made up of people that they already knew, and they had to find people that they didn't know in order to actually make this work. So to put your trust in somebody you didn't know for a job this big, I thought was a really interesting message that the movie was sending when they actually find the greaser, right? The acrobatic guy.
The acrobat guy.
Yep. I can't remember his character's name, but he's the greaser.
He's the greaser. That's
I know
the way
that
to
much.
look at it. I remember seeing it when it came out because I had a huge man crush on George Clooney.
Still do.
Still do.
No, he's getting old. That's what you guys keep telling me.
He still looks good. He's just not Nathan Fillion.
He's about 100 pounds less than Nathan Fillion. But,
He definitely is.
Nathan Fillion ate the castle. I'm a big fan of the original. I actually like the original film with Sinatra. I know most people haven't even seen it, but I really did like it. It was kind of a cool concept at that time to have, Frank and Dean and Sammy Davis Jr. and have them all together in a heist movie. And then to have George Clooney put together basically a new Rat Pack by having Brad Pitt and Matt Damon and having everybody involved and having that cast. Usually when you get that huge ensemble, I don't think it works most of the time. Most of the time, I think it gets overwhelmed with star power. It gets overwhelmed with machismo.
Too clustered.
Yeah, it's too clustered. And too many egos, honestly,
yeah.
to be perfectly honest. Everybody wants their screen time. I think they really did a great job, a masterful job of making a film that blended everything seamlessly and made the story the focus as opposed to the stars. That's what I liked about it. We always have a little bit of trivia before we get into what we love or didn't love about the original movie, kind of just for people that maybe didn't even know that this kind of thing happened. So here's a couple fun facts, I thought. Matt Damon's part as Linus Caldwell, the pickpocket, was actually meant for Mark Wahlberg. He turned it down in order to star in Planet of the Apes.
That worked out well.
Yeah, well, it was a good move for us, as far as I'm concerned. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have enjoyed Wahlberg as much as I did Matt Damon.
Well, they're kind of like twins. People confuse them sometimes, don't they?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Not
one,
even remotely.
No one even ever confuses
The
them.
One
general
has great
audience-
abs,
Matt
one
Damon-
doesn't.
The general audience might confuse them.
Maybe.
If you saw him
Matt
very
Damon's,
quickly.
Matt Damon's an actor. Mark Wahlberg, he models underwear and he appears in some stuff.
Hey, man, it's happening. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
Well, he's getting better. He's getting better. Don Cheadle is uncredited despite having a major role because this is a dispute over his billing. He wanted above the title billing opposite George Clooney, Matt Damon, and Brad Pitt. They refused, so he refused to be credited at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But he received above the title billing in the sequels, 12 and 13. So he got his wish. I guess he earned the above the title. Now, there's one part, this is very long, but I thought it was kind of cool, that Rusty says to Danny off the top of my head, I'd say you're looking at a Boski, a Jim Brown, a Miss Daisy, 2 Jethros, a Leon Spinks, not to mention the biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever. And a lot of people don't know what they're referring to, right?
Correct.
Okay. So this is the list of cons was created by director Steven Soderbergh and the screenwriter to describe the type of people and cons needed to knock over the 3 casinos. Besky or Bosky?
Bosky.
Bosky. Saul played Lyman Zerga. This is a reference to Ivan Bosky, a big-time trader on Wall Street who got caught committing securities fraud. The con is about a wealthy bankroller who has insider information. Jim Brown's a confrontation between Frank Catton and Linus Caldwell, staged to distract Terry Benedict so that Linus can lift the security codes of the vault. Name for the football player, Jim Brown.
There you go.
Miss Daisy, the SWAT vehicle used as the getaway car from the movie title Driving Miss Daisy. 2 Jethros, the Beverly Hillbillies, the Malloy brothers.
Yep.
Hillbilly gearheads hired to take care of Miss Daisy, distraction purposes, and for general it's a two-man job.
Yes.
Leon Spinks is a disruption of the boxing match that refers to the surprise victory of Leon Spinks over Muhammad Ali. And Ella Fitzgerald, which was the one that was driving me nuts because I didn't know what any of that meant, is the loop tape of the robbery that is played over Benedict's security system. It's a reference to a 1970s commercial for Memorex in which a recording of Ella Fitzgerald's voice breaks a glass and the question is posed to the viewer, is it live or is it Memorex?
Interesting.
Oh.
Do you care? Does anybody care? I don't think they do.
So I knew most of those. I didn't know the last one because it bothered me too. Because I'm like, who's Ella Fitzgerald in the movie? I don't get it. I never see Ella Fitzgerald again. And now it makes sense because it's not a person. It's the videotape.
How about this? The wig used by Amanda. Why don't you read that? There you go.
All right. So the wig used by Rusty, obviously Brad Pitt, in his disguise as a doctor was Mike Myers' rehearsal wig for Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery.
Wow.
And I want that wig.
Cooties.
Yeah. And the Bellagio actually let the crew tap into their security system to get real surveillance footage
That's
of the
kind of
casino.
terrifying. I don't think I would
That's
do that
how
if I was a
awesome
business
George
owner.
Clooney is. Exactly. George
Exactly
Clooney
right.
can do whatever.
Yeah.
See, he gets it. Why
I
can't
mean, I
you
get
it?
it. I
No,
feel
don't
like
think you get
Nathan
it.
Fillion could probably pull it off too.
Did you know that they lived at the Bellagio the whole time they filmed that?
Wow.
7,000 square foot villas.
Want to see that build?
Huh?
I want to see that build.
I don't think they saw that bill. That's where the studio comes in, my friend. All right, so what makes the movie so notable? That's what we talk about. We're still talking about the original. What makes it so notable? Favorite moments, casting. What about it do you love the most?
I absolutely love the fact that when we see Brad Pitt's character for the first time and he's like teaching the stars how to play, I never
TV
realized
stars?
It's not all TV stars. They're all WB television stars. It was Pacey. It was Charmed.
Topher Grace was on a Fox show.
Well, Topher Grace was the only oddball out when he came in, but everybody
Marie
else around the
Combs
table.
too, right?
Yep, there was Charmed, there was Dawson's Creek, there was Seventh Heaven. It was literally the cast of the WB around that table. I watched it this morning. First time I ever picked it up was this morning. I fell out of bed.
He also screwed that up.
Yeah.
Why?
But he didn't end up working it out.
Who didn't?
Brad Pitt
What do you mean he didn't end up working it out?
in that scenario, they all kind of like laughed at him for the tip.
Oh, that is true. That's a good point.
Plus,
Yeah.
he ended up getting conned, sort of. I mean, he figured it out, but in a way, he did get conned as well, because the initial purpose of this was to go and get money, but it was actually more of a revenge type thing. Like, I want to get my girl back. In Danny's perspective, Danny really just wanted to get back and say, "Hey, you took my girl while I was in jail."
What does this have to do with WB stars? I'm
No,
lost.
I'm just switching. I'm just switching.
Oh,
a
this
little
is
bit.
that's where I was like lost too. I'm like,
No,
what is
no.
it? Like, no, he's
I thought
like he's
J.J.
like he's-
Abrams did show up.
at the WB. It's like he's in on the con. He's actually getting the WB stars to give their
No,
money so that they
I
could
just
fund the
moved along.
operation.
Like, that was
Wait,
interesting.
was the
Let's move
WB
along.
behind the casino theft?
Maybe they
That
paid
makes
the
more
bill.
sense, actually.
That's why they're out of business and it's now the CW.
That's why it's the CW now. Good job, guys. Because now we got Flash, and that's good. What else is what other favorite moments?
Well, that's where I was kind of leading into. Was one of my favorite moments.
Well, you should have made it less confusing.
The
Don't blame us.
The fact that he ends up getting conned in a way during the movie, because Danny, like I was saying, Danny's initial premise to everyone was that we're gonna rob these casinos, but he didn't just want the money. He wanted to get back at the person who stole the love of his life, essentially. And say,
And of
hey
course-
man, I'm better than you.
And of course, the ending. Like when you get the reveal of how it was done, you're just kind of like,
Oh, wasn't that
Wow.
brilliant?
damn, I didn't see any of that coming.
Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
was brilliant. That's one of the few heist movies where it all works for me.
It totally does.
Especially because usually you get one heist that just doesn't work. It's like you couldn't have pulled that off in a million years. But they did a really good job of making this equal
Yes.
and it works
Explaining
out.
things.
And then they ruined it by doing a second movie.
Absolutely, and I love the camaraderie. I don't know how much time these guys spent, off-site
They
gambling.
lived together.
Yeah, well, they had separate 7,000-foot villas. They
Oh,
didn't
wow,
have to stay in
okay.
the same one.
They weren't all in the same one. They were.
No, they each needed 7,000 feet of
I mean,
of
I
space.
need it. So if somebody wants to pay that tab, I'll take it.
Go hang out with George Clooney. And that'll happen.
Nathan
but the
Fillion would be
camaraderie-
jealous then.
The camaraderie I absolutely loved. It's one of those things where when you watch it, they instantly seem like friends.
Totally.
It doesn't feel like they're acting. It doesn't feel like they're stretching. They feel like they're friends. They're pals.
Except for Damon, who's like literally the kid in the group. And
Yeah,
hey,
but,
kid,
but by the end, he feels like
Yeah.
he's one of the gang.
At the
you
end,
know? Yeah,
yeah.
by the end, yeah.
at the
Really
beginning, at the
shows-
beginning, is like, put your food down and get in the damn house.
Really shows the versatility of him as an actor too, because he transitions so well throughout the movie. Starting off as somebody you're just kind of like, why is this kid here?
Right.
And then at the end, you're like, wow, I'm glad he came along.
So what subconsciously you're saying is Mark Wahlberg couldn't have done that.
I think everybody would have just been staring at his abs the whole time, so they would have been distracted.
Because he'd be conning with his shirt off.
I'm sure they've seen that.
I'd watch
cigarettes.
that. Sure, why not? What didn't you
but,
like?
No, let's take that back for a second.
Okay.
So
you
if
want to
Mar-
talk about his abs some
No,
more?
no. But if Mark Wahlberg would have taken this movie instead of Planet of the Apes, then Planet of the Apes wouldn't have tanked so badly to get us the real good Planet of the Apes that came after it.
This
So
is
you're
true. It's all
thankful?
connected.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. So you're right. It was worth it. I guess. Did you see the Planet of the Apes that he was in?
The Wahlberg one?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it was worth it.
It was not worth it, but it was worth it to get it so bad to make the next two movies, which are really good.
Which are great. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good call.
Caesar!
All right. So what doesn't work for you when you watch that movie now? Is there anything that doesn't work for you?
There's not a thing for me. I rewatched it. I've rewatched it multiple times throughout the years, and it's always been a good movie. It's always held up really well, and you get their vibes, and from the very first time they start to get around each other, you can sense that the history that they have together. and it just works on screen really, really well.
What are you, Troy?
I'm gonna get stoned.
You're gonna get stoned.
I'm gonna push you out of your chair.
Like you're gonna go. It's not Colorado,
And
man.
maybe it's
We
just because it's 15 years later.
Oh, I misunderstood.
And I watched it, and I reviewed it, and I've seen it so many times. But I'm actually gonna say Julia Roberts.
You didn't like Julia Roberts?
I think watching it now, anybody could have played that character just as well as she did. So I don't think Julia Roberts was necessary for the movie in particular.
I think her
So I don't
role
say
was.
I don't say that. The role itself, the character is definitely 100% needs to be there. But if it doesn't, what doesn't work would be maybe Julia Roberts. Like anybody else could
So
have
you're
done that
saying
role.
that she's just easily replaceable.
I think so. In this
I
movie,
still
in
think
this
she
movie,
did a good job, though. Do you still think?
Oh,
she
yeah,
did a good
absolutely,
job?
100%.
She's meh.
Yeah, like I don't think anybody else could play Basher. Like Basher is Don Cheadle. I don't see anybody else playing Basher, and I don't see anybody else playing Brad Pitt's character
Rusty
or
Ryan?
Oceans. Yeah,
Rusty.
I could literally plug in like 4 or 5 different female actors of that age at that time in that role, and it probably would be just as good.
She had an awkward walk. When she comes down the steps and they're all in awe of her,
Yes.
all I kept thinking was she doesn't look like she's ever walked in heels before.
It's exactly.
I don't think she's exceptionally pretty, but she was a great
she's
actress.
very pretty.
I said I don't think she's exceptionally pretty. They were like.
What's exceptionally pretty?
Well, not Jennifer Lawrence.
This is
Sorry.
wrong. What's that? That's true. She was 10 at the time. Okay, so I don't have anything that doesn't work for me. Actually, everything
The
about
movie's
the movie
pretty damn
I think
perfect.
is pretty. It gels pretty perfect.
Including the ending when they stand in front of the Bellagio fountain and each go their
That's a
separate
beautiful
ways.
shot.
That's a
honestly
great
a
shot.
beautiful shot. Yeah. So should this movie even be remade, or should it be placed in don't touch status?
Don't touch status.
You know, it was already a remake. You
The
know.
Danny Ocean's 11 with George Clooney is a don't touch status movie. It is perfect in every way.
You just said you would change
Save
something.
maybe Julia Roberts.
Yeah. Call him out on it, people.
But I'm not.
He just
but
changed something.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to risk remaking it and doing an Ocean's 12 failure by replacing one person.
But if you're doing it, shouldn't it not fail? Isn't that the purpose of you being here right now?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess you.
He asked
I
me the
hope you
question.
have the right person or something.
It's
right.
perfect. It is.
I think it's a movie that, sure, why not? It's just one of those plots where I think if you give it enough time, it could still work. So give it another shot. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people felt that the Frank Sinatra version shouldn't be remade, and they did in my opinion, a better movie. So give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, now here's where we talk about the actual remake, like what we would do. Before they do that, let's talk about the actual remake or spin-off that is currently in the works. It's going to be called Ocean's 8. It'll be directed by Gary Ross from Pleasantville and Hunger Games. It was written by Olivia Milch. It's an interesting name. And it's going to be starring Sarah Paulson's in it, Anne Hathaway, Helena Bonham Carter, Kate Blanchett, Mindy Kaling, Rihanna. Yeah. Oh, the whole room went, oh.
And,
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
You got to be good so far.
Wait, it gets better. Aquafina.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Is it a drink?
That's a water, isn't it?
Aquafina actually was just pronounced today as it's not water. It's actually tap water, and PepsiCo's in
Well,
trouble.
apparently tap water's in Ocean's 8. And also it's going to be, I believe, led by Sandra Bullock. So that's your Ocean's 8.
Okay.
Anybody love that cast?
Ocean 6 sounds
No,
much
wow.
better.
Julia Roberts should definitely be a part of it. Yeah.
At this point, with all those females, absolutely.
Well, I mean, she'd be better than Aquafina.
I would agree with
We
you
don't
there.
even know who she is. We just know she's tap
She could
water.
stand there and do nothing.
You know
and
what?
It would still be better than
I
Aquafina.
can't get behind anyone named Aquafina. I
No.
just can't. I'm sure she's a lovely person, but
You're a Fiji kind of water drinker.
I am a
aren't you?
Fiji. If they have an actress named Fiji come in here, I would probably watch it. Is it a rapper?
Is she really?
Well, I sound like an old guy right now, don't I? I don't know who it is.
I'm young.
Do you,
and I don't know
do you
who she
want to
is.
maybe do her song for us? Oh, it's Aqua.
Aqua.
Yeah, this is awkward.
Yeah.
You know what? We're spending way too much time on Aquafina.
And now you know exactly why I referenced Ghostbusters at the start of this podcast.
No one knows why you reference Ghostbusters.
Because it's an all-female Ocean's 8.
I like the
Oh, she's Asian.
Ghostbusters.
She's Asian, and she looks like a delightful person with a dumb name. So that's
Her glasses
You
are
got that going on.
huge.
Well, that's not her name. It's probably her
Huge.
stage name. Her
Yeah.
acting name.
that's still the name that she's going with. She's very pretty with huge
Those
glasses.
are really large.
Yeah. She's channeling the 80s. I think she thinks it is the 80s. And she named her name, I don't know, after a toy from the 80s, is what it sounds like. Apparently, the film will see Bullock's character set out with a team of thieves to steal a valuable necklace from the Met Ball and frame the crooked gallery owner. This is allegedly. The connection to the Ocean's trilogy comes in when it's explained that Sandra Bullock's character is not only an ex-con, but also, do you guys want to know this?
The sister of Danny Ocean?
I guess you do. Yep, the sister of Danny Ocean.
I just guessed. You confirmed it. You ruined it for everybody.
That's what
Yeah, blame
the internets
him
are
for
saying.
it.
I guessed. I didn't know.
According to the playlist, the idea of a Danny Ocean cameo was floated. You don't know. I got a feeling George Clooney would pop up. He's a producer.
Yeah, he totally shows
unless
face.
they don't want to distract from the movie.
He gets billed $1 million for every second his face is on something.
It's worth every penny. Since this movie's getting a remake and fans always think we know the best way to make it, we're going to decide how Hollywood should remake it. So what we're going to do is we're going to each have our own plot, and then we'll take a vote and see what you guys think, basically. Or we'll decide if nobody votes. We'll see how it goes.
This is like school. You're obligated to participate at this point.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to hear all 3 different ideas for how this movie should go. Normally we would take a vote between us, but since we're live, we'll do theirs.
Are there other rules that you haven't mentioned yet?
Well, everybody does get a cut at one point during the episode. Now, what that means is that if we decide on an idea and one of the hosts is against it, they can yell cut, and they can change it to whatever their idea is. So they can change it to what they think is a better idea, and it has to basically not be stupid.
So if we agree that Nathan Fillion should be in this episode,
And I would
We
cut.
do.
and Aaron says cut,
Cut.
George Clooney becomes part of the episode.
Well, it depends on what role.
Right.
I mean, if he happens to be captain of a ship going on some kind of cruise fighter, I don't know what I was saying. I lost my train of thought.
I mean, we all know what you're referencing.
Yeah.
If you don't, go home, go watch Firefly.
And then Serenity, and then just keep doing that in a loop. All right, Troy, what's your idea for an Ocean's 11 remake? How would you do it?
Well, my Ocean's 11 remake is somewhat similar to that concept. I really enjoy archaeology and Indiana Jones and things of that nature. And so my concept was we have still a male Danny Ocean, but the twist came with a female bad guy. So in this case, it would be Danny Ocean assembling a team. Could be 4, could be 6, could be 8, could be 11, doesn't matter. And Danny Ocean would try to figure out a way to steal a artifact of some kind from a museum, knowing that inside the artifact is some jewels that the rest of his team does not know about. The twist in the movie is that we find out...
Androids.
No.
Okay.
We find out that the museum curator is none other than his ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
And so they've had some kind of play in there, like you're always gone, archaeology, finding all this crap, and you don't take care of me, so she divorces him. So the tables turn when he basically has to steal from his ex-wife in order to keep funding his concepts.
Okay. Amanda, what is yours?
So mine is a little bit of a different take. Mine would be, let's say there's 2 brothers. One of them frames the other brother for their mother's murder.
Whoa.
Yep.
Dark.
In the mom's
I
will,
like this.
she mentions that between the 2 of them, they can have the rest of her extensive and very expensive art collection. So obviously with one already being in jail for her murder, he's not going to be able to pick through and decide what art pieces he wants. And these are extremely, extremely valuable and rare art pieces that she's collected over the years. So after he gets out of jail, whether it's he finds a loophole or he escapes, I don't know if we want to do this Prison Break style or not.
Does that mean your character has a tattoo all over his body and he gets out of jail?
I mean, we
with
can
his
make it
bald-headed
happen.
brother?
I'm
Okay.
willing to listen. But basically, once he gets out, the concept is for him to try and gather his group of members and go after the pieces that he was wrongfully robbed of from his brother.
Okay.
Good, solid concept.
I don't want an all-female nor an all-male version. I kind of want a French con woman, Danielle Ocean, who goes by Danny, who becomes obsessed with recovering the French paintings from Al Thanai of Qatar. So she basically, because they do currently own in Qatar the two of the most expensive paintings in the world. Actually, 3, I think. They have Paul Cézanne's The Card Players, and they have Paul Gauguin's. I'm never going to say this right, but basically it means When Will You Marry? And together they're worth a combined $550 million. But they're also, and they're owned by Al Thanai of Qatar, which is basically a royal family in Saudi Arabia. So it's basically that this French woman, Danielle Ocean, wants to get these paintings back for her country. So she gathers a team to infiltrate the royal family, gets through security, and she garners the trust of a local con man, Spaniard, after he learns they also have Pablo Picasso's Les Femmes de la Gare. And that's kind of where my plot is. That's fine.
This is my knowledge bomb blowing up in my head. Like,
I Googled some stuff.
wow, you actually like use the internets for once in your life.
A lot of Googling.
A lot of Googling.
The last one you just did was space. Now you're just like dropping all kinds of like education.
So now
People learn stuff on this podcast.
I don't know if they learned anything because
You pronounced it all wrong.
What's that? Hey,
There
you
you
learned
go.
something. So now you guys get to decide which way we go. So of the three, recap yours real quick.
Mine is a husband and ex-wife. He's a archaeologist, wants to steal stuff like a couture or something that has diamonds inside of it from his ex-wife from the museum.
And Amanda?
Mine is the two brothers. One sets the other up for murder of their mother. He gets out somehow, and he decides to go after the pieces from his brother. One thing I did forget to mention is what
are you trying to juice it up?
One of my ideas with it is they actually, when they go in, they have the brother who was in jail. He's actually a forger. So he forges the pieces and replaces them so the brother doesn't realize initially and finds out later when he tries to sell them off because he didn't care about Ma.
Okay. And mine is to have a female Danielle Ocean team up with a Spaniard and a bunch of other guys to go after some paintings that the royal family, Al Thani Qatar, basically have.
Does it take place in Saudi Arabia at this palace?
I think so, yeah. It would be infiltrating a palace because it's actually a real thing, but you're obviously not going to take place there. Thankfully, we have special effects, and we can make up a Saudi Arabia palace. So,
yes.
So this is where you guys get to vote. So we're going to name each person. You tell me which idea you're going to vote for. For Troy's idea, raise your hand.
Are you counting?
One. Yeah, I can count that.
One ping only.
One vote. All right, for Amanda's idea, raise your hands. All right,
1,
count them
2,
out.
3, 4, 5, 6. Seven.
7. Okay, and for my idea, raise your hand.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, Amanda wins.
Oh.
She wins. Good job.
Woman power.
Don't make this a sex thing. All right, so
we got two brothers. The brother in jail. The brother in jail finds someone who can do forgeries. They forger the new stuff.
Well, the brother who's in jail, this is why it's so easy to get him set up for this murders, because in his past he's forged art before.
Talk into your mic.
So he's forged before, so that's why it's so easy for
So
him to be.
It's not a separate forgery. It's the brother's the forger.
Yeah, he's actually the one who's going to do it.
Gotcha.
So he's going to forge the artwork that they're going to be stealing, and they're going to put it in there.
So we'll call it Brother A is free, Brother B is in jail.
Yes.
Brother A got half of the stuff, Brother B got half of the stuff. Brother A sets up Brother B for murder of the mom, steals Brother B's pieces to have the whole collection.
Yes.
And now Brother B makes forgeries of the entire collection, gets out of jail somehow to actually swipe and swap the collection for himself as payback.
Brother A's entire thing the whole time was he wanted to steal these pieces because he was just going to sell them and make money from it.
Gotcha.
So he doesn't realize that it's
so
going to
there's
happen.
a moral to the story then.
Yes. So it's
He frames the mother, so he basically tarnishes the mother's legacy. So now the old brother wants to memorialize the mother by having the paintings back where they belong and making sure they can't go to market.
He was just going to sell all of those paintings. I mean, if you want to have it so the mom is actually the one who did all of this artwork, it might not be as valuable.
So the Danny Ocean in this concept then isn't actually getting any financial reward from this. He's literally getting...
He's getting his pieces, but those are, I mean, they're worth millions of dollars.
Sure.
But he doesn't want to sell them off. He wants to keep
them
for
in the
himself.
family.
And all of the people that end up helping him out, his group, they're all people that actually, they understand. They know that he didn't actually do it because he wasn't out for murder and he was a mama's boy.
Okay.
I like this.
I do.
And it doesn't matter if I liked it because everybody else voted for it.
Yeah,
so.
You're out.
But I liked it. But hey, Troy, you had one vote, so that's cool.
I did have one vote.
Does it make you feel bad?
No.
You should.
I'm good.
You should cry inside.
I can just cut and just say my idea wins.
Nope, not
but
on that
the
one.
audience
That's
has
an audience
spoken.
vote. That's an
There's
audience
vote, so we can't cut the audience.
Can't cut the audience.
He would have, though. This is how valuable you all are.
He's really thinking it over still. Yeah. He's like, I wish Darren didn't make these rules up.
It's my
on the spot.
diabolical idea.
Okay, so how many would it still be? 11?
Yeah, still want there to be 11, so that way there's still that relation to the original.
Well, I think you kind of got the plot already figured out, right?
Plot is pretty much solid. There's things, if anybody has suggestions, you want to tweak it a little bit.
Is there anything that you guys would like to see in a heist movie that you haven't seen before?
Good question.
Lots of responses.
All right. Well, then I guess we're just... Okay.
So while they're thinking about options, who's going to be our Optimus Prime, our Bumblebee, our Lumberjack, and
what?
I couldn't remember the names that you read off before, so I made up my own team of Transformers.
Transformers.
Wow. So he goes right to Transformers. That is the weirdest loop I've ever seen. But
it sounded like the names that you read off.
You know what?
Earlier.
I can't remember those guys in that heist movie. So you know what I'm going to go with? Bumblebee.
Yeah. My Wheeljack and my Ironside and my.
A turn of the century heist movie. And then they don't have to get cars because they already have them.
You're
thinking about it. You would actually watch that movie, wouldn't you? A heist movie with Transformers.
I would.
That's so sad. Okay.
It would have made Transformers 2 better. Because it was kind of a heist movie to find the Tomb of the Primes.
Anything would have made Transformers 2 better. Even Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Yeah,
he would have helped.
It could use the help.
It could have used the help. Okay, so based on this remake, you're going to cast 11. I don't think they necessarily have to be in the same role, but who do you recast? Who is your Danny Ocean, first of all? Does the audience have any suggestions? Who would you want to see as your Danny Ocean? Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell.
Okay.
You got any other ideas?
I had James Spader.
Oh, he could be the Saul character.
He's throwing James Spader out there or she's throwing James Spader out there to blacklist people. That's not good. That's unfair bias. I like both of those actually.
I had Reese Witherspoon for my female in my movie.
Well, this has to be two brothers, so we need two brothers.
We're doing the brothers.
How about James Spader and Sam Rockwell? They could be brothers. One's younger, sure.
Who's the bad guy then? Which one would you prefer to have?
Which one? You know what? I would actually go against type. I would say James Spader's the good guy, as opposed to he's always the bad guy.
But he's been the good guy too, so he's not really a.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell. Yeah, what's the vote? Sam Rockwell, good or bad? Or James Spader, good or bad? I should say.
They played both ways. So who do you guys want? Do you want Rockwell to be good or bad? Hands for good?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
What's... One should start out one way and the other, and they should all start out on opposite sides. So basically one starts out bad and becomes good. And then, that's why they were in jail. Also, no, that's not part of your plot. That would be an interesting plot twist.
It would be a twist.
I like that.
But then the whole framing for killing the mother thing doesn't really work. So we'd have to switch that out. We'd have to take that piece out and put that piece back in.
For Danny, the one who would be the one that was in jail, that was framed, part of his history is, he's illegally forging artwork.
Yeah,
so
he
he's
could
not
have
really all a good guy.
True.
If that
True.
helps.
So you could have him, he's bad and he... Sure.
And the other brother
But
was
he's
good
just
up until the
loves his
point
mom.
that he framed
his
brother.
He's bad, but he's not a killer.
Right.
Okay, that could work. I could see that.
So
I mean, it was your movie, so I don't want to...
whatever they feel
So are we
like
sticking
doing.
with Rockwell and Spader?
I say Spader starts bad and becomes good, and then... Or no, I'm sorry.
So Spader's Ocean.
I think Spader would be the better Ocean.
I had him as
Or do you
my
guys think
Ocean.
Rockwell
No.
would be the better
You have
Ocean?
you would rather have
Okay,
Rockwell?
Rockwell's the Ocean, and Spader's the other brother. He's already been decided. Where have you been? Oh, you mean? Do you think James Spader is prettier?
She's not happy with either one of those guys.
There's some ladies that disagree with you.
Wait a second. I only voted for her because of the tattoo. You should go with Vin Diesel and Terry Crews.
What about Matt Bomer?
Vin Diesel and Terry Crews. I would
love
watch,
it.
I would sadly watch the hell out of that movie. I would. Seriously, I would watch it over and over.
We know you would.
But I don't. Yeah, I couldn't see Vin Diesel as. No.
Well, I had Chris Pine originally in my casting.
Maybe you used him too much.
I know we have.
We kind of got the audience vote on that, so I think we're already at Spader and Rockwell. What's that?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling?
He's pretty, and he can also play good and bad.
For who's Billy Ocean? That's the singer?
As Danny Ocean.
I would watch Billy Ocean make a comeback in the Ocean's 11 movie. It would be totally meta too. It would be just mean so many different things. This is Ocean's Ryan Gosling as Danny Ocean.
Yeah, you ever seen him drive? He can pull that off.
I think he's a sexy man. There's no doubt. Oh, did you guys ever see Nice Guys? I think he underestimates himself in that one quite a bit. That's a really good movie. No. Cut. Jonah Hill, no. Is Danny Ocean? I mean, which
The three of
Jonah
us
Hill?
together
Because
are
I
cut.
mean, he's funny. He's not funny. I don't know which one he wants to be. So who do we want to go? Now I forgot who's our Danny Ocean now. We got
So
Ryan
we have-
Gosling out here.
We still have plenty of options.
I think Ryan Gosling's a great Danny Ocean.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so you know what? Now we've got 3.
Sam Rockwell and Jake, can they play one of the other guys?
Yeah, we've got
Yeah,
11.
We got 11.
Right? We got a lot of guys.
Yeah.
We could throw out. We just need to
James,
decide.
James Spader is Ryan Gosling's uncle or something.
Spader's a
and-
specialist.
Because Spader's an old guy, so they're not going to have him as...
Hey,
Hey,
he's
hey.
textured. He's textured. He's not old.
He'll shoot you in the head.
He was a specialist. Use Rockwell and Gosling as brothers.
Rockwell and Gosling is brothers.
What? That would give him a lot of twist.
You don't know
Okay.
who's doing what.
So Rockwell's the brother out of jail, and Gosling is the hero in jail. Okay. And Spader's like the Saul character.
Sure. I mean, he's not that old. My God, he's still got a couple tires still on the car. He's still running on the track.
I hope he's not tuning into this.
Saul's in a
following the
wagon.
Blacklist.
Oh,
What's
yeah, there
that?
you go. Morgan Freeman plays a Saul character.
Morgan Freeman. That's perfect.
Yep.
That's perfect.
I like
He's the
it.
same guy in every movie. Okay, so we've got. Okay, so Gosling and Rockwell. I can see that as brothers. That works. Spader's a specialist, so he's still in there. And you've got who else do we have?
We said Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. I want Terry Crews though.
Terry,
I do. Terry Crews. You got to have Terry Crews.
sure, David Tennant could be in there. Yeah.
David Tennant.
He's
sure.
Yeah, David Tennant's the basher.
All right. So what number are we up to? Is that 5?
Should write it down or type it in or something.
Isn't this your job? I don't know.
No, I'm out of room.
Hang on. Terry
Right.
Crews is definitely.
Yeah.
Can we make this Ocean's 42 and we can just keep casting?
Mark
could.
Ruffalo.
I think we need a lady. I want a lady somewhere.
Well,
I have
I wanted-
Kirsten
I wanted-
Vangsness from Criminal Minds
you have?
as an
Who?
IT. Kirsten
Nobody
Vangsness.
knows who that is.
She's the IT chick from Criminal Minds. People know who she is. She's
Is she
Yeah.
good?
as an IT
Heck,
chick.
she said, "Heck yeah."
Can she act in something other than an IT
What about
chick?
who?
Well, her role would still be.
Dana Scully.
Jillian?
Gillian Anderson.
I'm
All
down
right.
with
We can
that.
put both of them in there. How's that? Now what are we up to?
I don't know.
That's 2 British people. They cancel each other out. And Evangeline Lilly.
Oh.
I think you're making a personal movie now. Meryl Streep could be.
Great. Now she's going to win an Oscar.
She could be the mother.
With all these people in there,
She
we
can.
can't afford the 7,000 square feet villas.
It's okay. It's our movie. We can make it as expensive as we want. Absolutely. What's her name?
I don't know, but I can look it up.
Oh, Ming Na.
Ming Na. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. She's 50 or something. No, but she looks like she's 23. Does she drink the blood of the innocent?
No, Ming Na is definitely younger than Spader.
Who is that?
Ming Na.
Not much. She's
Not
actually
much.
only a couple years younger than him.
Really?
She drinks the blood of the innocent.
Wow.
Good for her.
Good for her.
I would too if I kept me looking like that. I mean, I would look different because I'm a dude, but
I also wanted Bridget Moynihan from Blue Bloods.
I think we're up to like 43 people now. Aquafina doesn't.
She's in
even
the
have-
Hollywood version that nobody will see.
She can have a
Everybody's coming to see
cameo.
ours.
She can have a cameo.
Aqua.
Haley Bennett too.
Okay, I think.
Chick from
Haley
Magnificent
Atwell.
Seven.
Seriously, I think we're running out of room.
I'm just tossing ideas, okay?
I think everybody. Do we have 11 yet? We got to have 11 by now.
Somebody rattle
about,
them back off.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
I met her actually, South by Southwest, and I didn't remember her name. That's the sad part. She's adorable.
Alec from Leverage.
Why are you just? We can't keep throwing people out. At some point, this movie's
I was
gonna
saying
get
if you wanted to replace
closed
your
down
IT
for over
person,
budget.
he's great.
How about Tiffany Amber Thiessen from White Collar, and we'll just go through the whole USA Network.
Can we
Did
just
you-
do Matt Bomer?
No more white collar. You and your white collar. You need to stop watching that show. It sounds bad for you. Okay, nostalgic moments. Now, when you have this remake, you always got to have some nods to the original. What would you guys say would be great nods to the original? I was thinking you have to have a character that chews constantly. It's eating something constantly. I always thought that was like one of the most memorable traits of the original.
The dynamic between Danny and Rusty, I feel that needs to be there.
I don't know if that's a memorable moment, though. That's just a character thing.
Well,
but you're right. It does need to be there.
It needs to be there.
But I just mean like a little callback to the original, like for the fans of the original to reflect upon, you know.
Do you got anything?
I do. I want to see the quick bomb-making explosion that Basher and Brad Pitt do at the beginning of the movie for the cop car.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
I thought that was kind of fun.
That
And then
too.
they kind of run away like little schoolgirls.
Okay.
What was that again?
That was pretty awful. And
Make it your
amazing at the
Facebook
same
I was
time.
imitating Aaron.
And amazing at the
Yeah.
same time. Okay, well, I think that does it. I think that is a movie. And if you listen to our episode when it finally airs, you will actually get a fan trailer from courtesy of Wayne Henderson via videovoiceovers.com, who'll basically take all of your ideas and put it into a fan parody trailer that you can listen to, which we do for every episode.
Wayne
it's
is
pretty
exceptional.
fantastic. It's pretty fantastic. Okay, well, that's going to do it for Remake.